we will be soon. We'll have our website up so everybody can participate in the activities and the goings on. From our blogs or whatnot. We hope everybody that can participate, because it's going to help for the greater good for us, not just me and or whatnot, but everybody on this conference call, including people that's not on this conference call, because we really can't do anything while we are out and still in his world. You see what I'm saying? And still in his system and still on his land and things like that. We have to get our own stuff so that we can then exercise and execute our culture and then start developing ourselves even further, because we need each other to develop ourselves. There's certain rituals and things that have to be done that can't be done unless we're on our own land.
Right.
You see? And that land, the land that we have, and that we live or participate on in ritual settings, it has to come alive. We have to marry ourselves to the land, to Mother Nature. The water, the trees, the
right.
birds, the plants, everything. So we become a part of that. So then the land is blessed. Then the spirit of our ancestors are awakened on this land with us, and we are protected, you see?
Yes.
Now, if you think we don't have protection, then that's doubting the gods, and that's doubting your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, because that could be just a stage of consciousness within a person, you see? And then eventually they will grow out of it. You see what I'm saying? So we have a very, very, very bright future as a people, and we're not just limited to these conference calls and things like that. Just conference calls. We're actually doing a lot of stuff in the background, and that you will see manifest. So we're not just up here to just talk some sound good type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we do have the conference calls for building purposes, and as far as passing information, have a relationship with each other, as far as passing information to each other, certain, not just information, but applications of the mind, the spirit, and spiritual development, and mental exercises and things like that, so you can exercise these things in your life to better your life, to better your mind, or to better yourself on all these different levels. So we do, and we hope everybody take advantage of that, those applications, and apply them to your life, because if you don't apply anything to your life, then you won't reap the benefits, because everybody wants to be able to go to the next stage of consciousness, but not everybody wants to work for it. No, everybody doesn't want to put the blood, the sweat, and tears in it. They don't want to cut the TV off and sacrifice America's Got Talent or whatever the different shows are. Huh?
No, I said another show, The Voice. You good? Go ahead.
Yeah, I ain't know. I ain't never heard of The Voice. Is that a?
Oh yeah, The Voice. Yes.
Yeah.
But to sacrifice these things for self-development. You see?
Right.
So if you want to get to that state of the next conscious level, then you have to fast routinely. You have to not eat so much. You have to do meditative practices. You have to do concentration practices, and you have to reawaken your imagination like you did when you was a child. Because I know when I was coming, my mother didn't have that much money, so she couldn't buy me all these toys and stuff. So I was known to make my own toys. I would make men out of paper and glue their legs on the body and things like that. And I had model airplanes I used to put together because she didn't have enough money to buy all this stuff. So I had to make most of my toys. I'm glad it was like that, though, because that exercised my imagination.
Right.
Instead of buying everything that I wanted, it'd be right there. I wouldn't have to exercise my imagination, but That's a very important tool, because imagination and brain power brings things into your life on all levels: physical level, spiritual level, and mental level. You know, so to exercise the God part of you, you have to apply these things. You see, so we just can't be, you know. Well, in other words, then the conference call would just be a soap opera.
Yeah.
You know, might as well say, we might as well call it All My Children. Whatever, Dallas or whatever they, you know, I remember from the past. But
brother,
and
I'm glad you don't watch TV, brother. That's phenomenal to me. Honestly, you know, how long has it been since you watched TV for real? Honestly.
Man, let me see.
You good? Don't worry about it. I love it, brother.
I want to say about 2003. Wow. It's not like, now when I go over my aunt's house, she may have a television on, I sit down and talking to her, you know, but, you know, I go visit. I mean, let's say if I go in Best Buy, they got TVs going on, so I see it there, or my aunt's house or something like that. You see, but I'm not saying don't watch TV. I'm not saying that was no, oh, it's special, don't watch TV. I'm just saying my lifestyle and what I do, what fits me, and I'm not saying my lifestyle is the only good lifestyle. You may need to watch TV and have a wonderful lifestyle, just like, you know, mine or whatever, or even better. But that's just me, though. That's just my anatomy and my mental anatomy. Because I can't sit there and watch TV and do the things that I need to do, because it agitates my mind. I remember back in 2000, I think it was 2001, I played a video game. My brother used to play video games all the time. So I never was a video game player. I was always sorry. You know, I pick up the joystick, I always get beat. So he had a video game called Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked the joystick up. I started to play, and I played for about 45 minutes to an hour, right? I put it down. About 10 minutes later, I started to do my spiritual practices and stuff. Oh, my goodness. My mind was so agitated. All the stuff that I seen on Grand Theft Auto started coming out of my mind.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there trying to do these techniques and meditation practices and things like that, and, man, it took me almost double time to reverse those effects. You know, I had to sit down, instead of sit down for 2 hours, to sit down for 3 or 4 hours. Get to calm the mind down and readjust it and things like that. I'm not saying don't play Grand. I'm not saying don't play Grand Theft Auto. If your mind is strong enough or whatever, you know, you can play it or whatnot. You can adjust it or whatnot.
I'm saying it. Don't play Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
I'm saying it. If it took off, listen, man, the science behind television, especially with these children, is why they got short attention spans, because of these commercials that come up with different ideas every 10 seconds. That's why their attention span is 10 seconds long. You understand? It's a science behind it. It's the tail eye vision. It creates the visions for you, so you don't use so you're not prompted to use your own imagination. You see the difference. That's why I asked brother, how long has it been? And you see the effects of the TV just from playing a video game for 45 minutes to an hour. All that is dangerous, man. We need to recapture our own minds and start to do these things ourselves.
Well, what are some techniques you can do to start that? Because I can tell you right now, I know I'm drifting my mind. I have I have 4 children, but the last 2 are small. And so I find myself, you know, sitting on the couch with them, often, you know, watching TV because my toddler will cry, and, you know, so I know that's not good for me, because in the past 2 years I feel like I've lost so much of my memory.
Wow.
due to TV, and I'm 32, and I'm telling you, I can barely remember things. So I know I have to do something. I wanted to ask the doctor if I had Alzheimer's.
Get some. What you could do too to help you with your memory is they got some. You can get some reishi mushroom, REISHI.
Oh wait,
you can get some reishi mushroom. It's kind of expensive. It's
Can you spell that again? I don't care when it comes to my health. Okay.
Yes, REISS
Okay.
as in Sam, H is in Henry, I.
Okay.
Get you some of that. Also, I don't know, is it me or maybe it's your first time on here?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay, because y'all know I always talk about memory recall. I sound like a tape recorder because I keep saying that.
Yeah, I've seen the post for it.
Right. Do you have the Blackroots science lessons?
I'm sorry.
Do you have Blackroots science lessons?
The science method?
Do you have a book called Blackroots Science?
Yes, I do. Sorry, yes.
Okay, go to the back of the book, get you a notebook and a pen. Go to read the second part, and it'll take you through the whole program of expanding your consciousness.
Okay, I was just going in order. I didn't get to that part, so I will get to that part.
Yep. Don't forget the dieting part too. Now, you gotta do the dieting part with it.
That's not
You'll find it very, very hard trying to just do that and not do the dieting part. Now, if you do get good with your consciousness and expand your mind and consciousness, but you don't do the dieting part, you'll find that it's a brick wall way down the road that you can't see, and you'll hit that brick wall until you straighten the dieting out, and then you go further.
Now, I can tell you, since I've been reading the book, there has been some very good changes in my life, especially in the area of creativity, because I had a block, in terms of my imagination, being able to create anything. And I make jewelry, and I hadn't done it for 2 years. And then I started reading the book, and suddenly there's this outpour of creativity, and I've been filling up my jewelry trays. So, that's a positive.
Right.
But I will definitely do that.
Right. Okay. Anybody else have anything to say?
Oh, I know another great exercise for you and your children to do at the same time, so they can, and at first it might be irritating. I mean, you go see, listen, especially the children who watch a lot of TV, they are going to go crazy. But you have to be patient. You have to sit there. All of y'all can sit around a candle flame, and just concentrate on the candle flame and watch the flame dance as long as you can. Start 5 minutes a day with you and your children. It'll help their attention span and their will, start to build your will up. Because I'm saying that is the ADHD, all this stuff only came about because more and more commercials got shorter and more commercials started to come about. That's the whole explanation. That's why attention span is 10 seconds apart. They can't pay attention to nothing, but they will sit in front of that TV like a zombie and don't hear nothing.
I make the kids meditate, which is sad, I know, because I make them do it because I know it's good for them. So they wouldn't have a problem doing that. We've meditated together.
Okay, that's beautiful.
I'm not totally addicted to the TV, but usually during their school hours, that's when I'm watching TV.
And the meditations that you have, what you could do is while you're sitting down with them, you can be doing a memory recall. Let's say you spent, 30 minutes to an hour out in the park, and you've seen some things and witnessed things as far as the weather, the temperature, how you felt things, thoughts that came to your mind or whatnot. And you record those things down when you get back to the house, including your trip back. Remember all the buildings that you passed by, the cars and the houses, or whatever. So you write this stuff down. When the time comes for you to do your recalls, that's when you schedule your children's meditation in with it. So they sit down, and you're sitting down, and Their mind is meditating. Your mind is meditating on your experience.
Okay.
Until they get old enough to do what you do. You see?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A lot of times is, let's say when your children go to school or whatnot, when they come home, you ask them, so what did you do today? And they start to just spill out. If one doesn't want to say it, go to the other one, ask the other one, what did you do today? And then motivate that one and say, oh, no, I want to go first. Out there, they fight over who's going first, and then that one would start telling you all the things that they went through, you see, to make the memory very, 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 very nice, very vivid, you see.
Okay.
And that'll jog their memory. But as far as the meditation part, you schedule meditations around your recalls. So they'll be doing it once every 3 days as far as that, and then they'll move to once every other day and once every day. And you are actually meditating and recalling. So I was explaining how us as a people, the nature of meditation that we do is that's beneficial for us is different than the meditation that is good for them as non-black race people, because not only physically they are different, but on a spiritual and mental level they're different as well.
Yes.
That's why in the secret societies they're always talking about these different light race masters. Saint such and such was a master, and this person was a master, and Herodotus was illuminated, and because they have those schools that's catered for them. You also have people amongst your, the Moors, amongst us, that are illuminated as well, except those circles were kept very, very secret. Not, so to speak, from you, but from them.
Okay.
The ones that have been ruling the planet for about 6,000 years, you see?
Mm-hmm.
And it was kept from them and kept from people that had their type mentality out of imitation that would sell us out and give them what we have, you see?
Right.
Yes.
So the meditation that we do is more personal. The meditation that they do is less personal. As a matter of fact, they try to get as less personal as possible, as they call it, to forget the ego, to merge with a higher universal mind, and the mind of Yahweh, which is their creator, which is your brother and not your creator, according to the elders. You see?
Mhm. I did get that far. Yeah.
Oh, we help you out. Is there anybody else?
Oh, thank you very much for the advice.
Okay. Well, I was going to go over some important things because a lot of people needed to know the difference between their anatomy and the non-black race anatomy. The reason this is important is because it has to do with what information that you know would be useful for yourself as opposed to useless information. Because we have been taking in this New Age, a lot of this New Age stuff that sounds so pretty and beautiful, you know. A lot of things these East Indian sages talk about. The universal mind, the ego, and the things like that. You see what I'm saying? So I wanted to kind of read through a passage in the Blackroots Science book, and then we'll talk about it and build upon it, and then we let everybody else come in, and then y'all can build upon it and share your whatever the God in you has to say. See? And this is very, very important. A lot of people want to know, well, what happens to me if I die? If I were to die right now, if I got shot in the head, what happens to me when I die? When you pass or sin, you never die. You have to understand that. You're not the body. You're not the thing that you look at in the mirror. You're the thing that's sitting on the throne inside of that gene, inside of that body. The body is just a temple. You understand? You have never been a non-black race person. You've always been a black person or more. You see? You have always been a more or a black person. You've always incarnated into a black body. You've always incarnated into a black body. Never any other body. You've never been a Chinese person. You've never been a Caucasian or anything like that. And also you need to know that you're the only one that incarnates. Caucasians don't incarnate. Hindus do not incarnate. Puerto Ricans do not incarnate. Mexicans do not incarnate. Well, the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans are Moors too. Politically, they are. But universally, they are not black. They are not eternal beings. Black people range from 6 generations of blackness. After that, the germ gene disappears. The genetics inside of you that makes you black. If you're dealing with a person that is mixed, that person is still black. The person has the black germ gene. We're not talking about melanin. That's responsible for melanin. We're talking about the black germ gene, the gene that makes you black. This gene is the throne of God, okay? After the 6th generation, that gene disappears. So the child is born is a non-black race child, lacking the gene of morality in them. And when you lack the gene of morality, then the nature of beast man comes out. So when beast man comes out, we say that's the devil. And that's why we say the white man is the devil. White man is Caucasian, Mexican, Hindu, it's all of them. All non-black races are what we call white man. We're not talking about being politically correct in court. We're not, whereas what we're using the word white versus black and things like that. We're not talking. We're using the word that the masses is familiar with. So that we won't have to go through all this stuff and explain this. And we have people on the calls every week. So that means every week we have to go through the same thing over and over and over. But when you say black person, everybody knows what you're talking about, whether it's politically incorrect or not. So they don't incarnate. When they talk about their past life, they're looking at the electromagnetic spectrum, or what they call the Akashic records of their DNAs, of their family DNA and the family tree. Certain experiences that their great-great-grandfather experienced, it comes to their mind and they say, oh, in my past life, I used to be this. No, it's not your past life. You're looking at your great-great-grandfather's experiences, you see? And some of them that say that they were black, some of them that say that they were black, they're looking at the black person's experiences. They were never black. You see what I'm saying? So let's look at the anatomy of us. Let's look at our spirit and soul. Okay? There is a confusion of the words in the English language, where people sometimes speak interchangeably of the soul and the spirit. Other times they speak of them in such a way that they mean 2 different things. So it's hard sometimes to know what a person is referring to when they say soul. In ancient times, the human entity was described as being made of 3 things, namely the body, the soul, and the spirit. We're using the English words, obviously. The ancient words are different. Obviously, the ancients meant 2 different things by soul and spirit. Otherwise, if they were the same, then the human entity would be made of 2, not 3 things, either body and soul or body and spirit. You got it? Okay. But it's clear that we are made of 3, not 2. The modern language defines them much more clearly. We all know what the body is. We also all know what the personality is. Thirdly, we all know what the mind is. Even if we cannot quite define it, we use it, and we are aware when we use it that we are using the mind, which is a different part of ourselves than our body and personality. Some call the mind consciousness. The reality of these 3, body, personality, and mind, is clear to every normal person. So I'll put it to you like this. When the ancients spoke of body, soul, and spirit, they meant what we today call body, personality, and mind, or consciousness. In other words,
The soul, they meant personality. And the spirit, they meant mind or consciousness. I'll also put it to you that no matter how hard you try, you would not find any other component of the human entity other than these three. Some would suggest that life is a fourth component. Life is not a thing that we are uniquely composed of. All these three define our uniqueness as individuals. Life is what unites the three and enables the human entity to live and function on earth. Now, if the body and soul and spirit means body, personality, and mind, then where is the soul that lived before? It's talking about, in other words, you got a lot of people that's saying that I was Osiris in my past lifetime, or I was this being, or I was Zauser in my past lifetime, or I was Harriet Tubman in my past lifetime. You see what I'm saying? Because when you're saying you're talking about the personality you. I can't say about in the past lifetime, but my higher self time, maybe for a short period of time, let's say 5 years. And then my name may change as my mission changes, you see? So people have different names according to what they are doing. Just like people in the street. You may got a guy that they call Derek, right? And he may be prone to, run with the bad guys in the street, and he can pick his gun up real fast and shoot it at somebody. So they may call him Happy Fingers. You see? See how Happy Fingers named that characteristic about him? Happy Fingers have never been and had a past incarnation. You see? That's just the personality or the characteristics that the higher self, which is the real you, is wearing. The higher you is what incarnates. The personality you does not incarnate, in other words. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if the body, soul, and spirit mean body, personality, and mind, then where is the soul that lived before? To say the soul lived before is tantamount to saying our personality lived before, which is impossible because our personality is formed directly by our present experiences. We have no experience when we are conceived. Conception is the starting point for every person, who then accumulates experiences that mold his or her unique personality or soul. The New Age people and the secret societies, they teach that life starts when you take the first breath. That's because that's when they start. The baby inside of them is kept alive from the mother and the ethereal substance. You get what I'm saying? And they teach about this. In other words, the reason that they teach it starts with the breath because they don't incarnate. You incarnate. You come and incarnate. And at the moment in which your nervous system is able to register stimuli, consciousness starts there as a personality. And you can have a recall and go back even to that point until you go before that point, which is your first ancestor, your past incarnation, your higher self past incarnation. And then you run into a totally different personality that you were in your past lifetime. And that personality can teach you the things that it experienced in this